So there we are.
So the heat is on.
And look at that. Our is that our third quarterfinal heat right there. They're sitting there hanging out, talking to each other. That is none other than Ryan Hardy and Ben Player, the two Australian veterans of the world of bodyboarding. And our heat is underway, just like I said. Jacob Romero, David Winchester, ready to rock out here in the ocean at Arica.
Yeah, you know, Ben and Ryan, they travel, have been traveling for years and years together. They're on the same team, and so they're good mates. And God, they know each other like brothers. As is Dave Winchester, part of that group, and you know, so they're really a close knit, tight family. And when they go to these events, they kind of, you know, they travel as a team, and yeah, they feel supported, you know, amongst themselves, which I think really is helpful.
Yeah, 100%. You know, it's definitely a fact that you know, the bodyboarding family is exactly that. It is a family. I mean, these guys all, you know, get along pretty well. There's not too many, you know, heated rivalries, and when they are heated rivalries, it's kept to a competition rivalry. It's not really, you know, people dislike each other.
Yeah, here we go. It looks like
some sets coming. Jacob Romero possibly
somebody paddling here on the right. Okay, Jacob Romero up and riding. First strikes, first blood. Let's see, looking for that section.
Oh, you got to be kidding me!
Oh, what did I say?
Wow!
That was huge.
What a way to start off the day! And David
Lord.
Winchester firing back on this left, and it's going to barrel for him, isn't it, Mike?
This looks like a pretty good way for Winnie. This thing's going to run. Let's see if he can come out of it. He's got a good rail, good line. Oh! Is he going to come out of the whitewater? He might come out of the whitewater.
That was a long barrel, Mike.
That was
really
insane.
Long barrel.
You know, yesterday they gave Hardy a pretty good score for, you know, making a long barrel. He didn't come out, but man, it was amazing. Now this wave of Romero is just loony.
Is this the error of the contest so far?
So far, I'm claiming for sure. You know, he didn't not necessarily just go up. He went out. Like, look how far look where he lands. You know, you can go up and out, or you can go up straight up and then land back on the face. But look where he lands. Both. He lands on the bottom of the wave, you know.
Unbelievable.
And it looked like he tried to hold, and he's just like, at the end, he's like, you know what? If I hold this thing, I'm going to break bones.
Bodyboard fans, I hope he's okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's fine. He might have, you know, his fins might have, you know, I've had Churchills where my feet have gone through the hole. And so, you know, when you land like that hard, you know, your fin, yeah, he's adjusting his fin, you know. Those Churchills have a small hole in the bottom, and if you
came out of me, think?
Well, if you land hard enough, sometimes your foot will go through that entire hole, or your entire foot will go through that little hole. It's just stretch open, and it's just a nightmare. So let's look at Winnie's wave here.
Take a look at it.
Great line, good bottom turn. Okay, good speed. He's got the perfect line right here, and so he's at this point he's just trying to keep that edge, keep the speed, and he makes it pretty darn far, almost to the end, you know. Yeah, they're asking right now if Romero's okay because, you know, that's a mix. Sure, Winnie's going through some mixed feelings here. One of concern for his fellow rider, and the other like, oh, all right, he must not have made that. So that's a good thing because I could see Winnie's frustration after not making that one. It was pretty. Yeah, I mean, you know, he would be pretty bummed.
Yeah, I mean, that air was pretty amazing, and you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he blew his fins off. You know, tweaked them, twisted them around sideways. But it was definitely, I mean, what a heat opener for Jacob Romero. Bottom turning on all this speed, and man, he was up there a long time. He must have had all kinds of thoughts going through his head.
So real high and out. I mean, a side view of this, or look.
Man. Okay,
God, it's almost like if he just tweaked it into an inverse, he might have been able to, like,
yeah, for sure.
At least, you know, land on his board. I don't know if he would have made it. He could have broke his ribs.
Yeah, so take a look at the scores. Jacob Romero on that huge air, even though it was incomplete, got a 4.5.
Probably the biggest air of the contest we've seen so far.
But I am surprised Dave Winchester getting a 3.63 on the barrel because we saw high scores yesterday.
Yeah.
For guys riding
well, maybe they've adjusted
barrels.
that, you know, because I don't think it's really fair to get the score if you don't make it out. You know, even if you do travel, like maybe if it's a situation where you travel and then you kind of come out and you're visible and then you go back in, that can be maybe a different situation. But if you're just in there the whole time and you're just trying to get out and you don't, then I don't think you should be rewarded the super high scores. But that's not a bad score, 4.5. I mean, we've seen guys get that score for riding a wave.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Succeed in successfully pulling it off. So, you know, that would have been a 10 had Jacob, you know, landed that thing. That was absolutely massive. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, Jacob, he's not going to hold back one bit. That's how this guy surfs his heats. and you know, he is all in.
That air, I mean, showed some serious cojones.
Yeah,
from
and
Jacob Romero.
you know, you can see Winnie. Like Winnie's kind of uncharacteristically kind of scrambling around out here. Like he knows, you know, he's got someone that's going to be doing that in the heat. He needs to bring his A game, and you cannot afford not to just be on your absolute best of all aspects of your game. You know, your riding's got to be like, you can't make any mistakes. Your riding's got to be good. Your contest strategy's got to be good. Your timing, everything's just got to be right on. Because at this level, basically, you're out if you make mistakes. And as you saw yesterday, just one or two mistakes here or there, one wave selection not done right or whatever, and boom, the guy's out of the contest.
So just so you know, Mike, we were talking about, you know, how far Jacob has actually gotten in a GSS event. He's actually finished third place one time at 2012 box event at Margaret River.
Oh, okay, that's right. I apologize. Yeah, he was ripping the box, and thanks for that. Yeah, thanks for that. You just I haven't seen him much. You know, like you know, you don't see him in the high rounds as much, and mainly because he's just going for broke. You know, he's kind of, you know.
Kind of a
yeah,
first or last.
Yeah, exactly.
Which you got to respect that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a pretty rad approach. You know, his approach last year was the same thing. Like he didn't need much of a score, and he went for broke where he could have just probably progressed had he scaled back a little bit in his approach, and instead he just kind of went all out, and he didn't make it, and as a result he didn't get the score he needed to advance. So he came all the way down here last year, and just narrowly missed out because he didn't conform to the criteria.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, you know, the guys that get through are usually the ones that at least throw that into the mix of their approach, because you have to have some sort of consideration to the format. You know, it's just, otherwise you're just not going to make it.
Yeah, but that's very Hawaiian of him. You know, they want to go for it. They want to go big. They want to do their, you know, they're very proud people.
Yeah.
Everybody from Hawaii, as you should definitely know, and it's not very often that you see any Hawaiian competitor of any type hold back or be reserved just to, you know, make it to the next level. They want to go all the way.
Yeah. Gosh, I want to see that air again. I wonder if
I
you
can
can
see
keep
that.
that
We
up.
could watch that all day. You know.
That thing was massive. Looks like a little bump coming in the horizon. Let's see if we can.
So 21 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in the first quarterfinal. Jacob Romero out to a small momentary lead with that gigantic air that he wasn't able to complete. David Winchester with an amazingly long barrel that he almost came out of. And
God, that was close too.
He traveled so far and covered so much ground inside the tube.
You know, that end section is just so powerful. You know, just throws you down. So it looks like Dave with priority. And both these scores that they have right now, I'm pretty sure are going to be thrown away unless we have one of those tidal lulls that happened yesterday, which could occur, you know.
You know, we certainly had some heats yesterday if you guys were able to watch us. These guys went 15, almost 20 minutes in one heat without any real scoring waves. And
so they're kind of on the outside here waiting for some bombs. You know, there's actually waves coming on the inside, but to get to them, it's pretty tricky. You know, you'll be watching this show and you'll see, wow, how come the guys aren't on the inside, right in that inside section? And it's kind of far away. And if you venture in there and a set comes, you're just going to get worked. Okay, we got Winnie taking off on a wave here.
That's right, Winnie going right.
Yeah, long bottom turn around a big section. Let's see if he's got an end section here. He's looking for it. Okay, he's looking.
Nice roll right there.
Clean roll.
But we've seen Winchester mainly on the left of the entire contest, correct, Mike?
Yeah, you know, he is he's well versed in either direction, but his biggest scores have been on the left.
So take a look at the replay. Dropping it on a good sized wave, he's got a lot of white water to contend with.
Yeah, he's got to go all the way around that section, and just looking for that one lip here. And you know, this is a good score for Winnie. It's probably not exactly what he was looking for, but this will be a good score. It'll get him on the board. You know, it's a good way to start.
Look at Winnie right there. And Mike, tell me this. Do you think Winnie is a guy does he go left better than he goes right, or he just likes the lefts better here?
Well, I think the lefts are better here. They're more consistent. They're easier to read. However, the right the right allows, if you get the right section like Jacob did, man, you can get an amazing ramp.
Yeah.
And you can just go absolutely skyward.
Okay, so we do have a score for the second wave of Dave Winchester on that right. He had a 5.58 for that roll he did on the right after he got around the whitewater. So that's going to put him in the lead with a total of 9.21. Jacob Romero now has priority. He has a score of 4.5 and needs one more wave to complete his wave score.
Yeah, I would say that's probably going to go out the window with the time remaining. He'll probably better that, but that's not a bad base score to have in your pocket, if you need it, and if it does, slow down a bit in this heat.
Yeah, for sure. We see Winnie paddling back out to the lineup, and when these guys do take the rights, that's another thing to think about, Mike. It's a longer wave, which means it's a longer paddle back out.
Yeah, that's right. We got Dallas Singer. Yeah, Dallas Singer up there. How's that face, Dal?
Looking good, buddy. Looking
he's
good.
He's amped, as all these competitors remaining are. Like they're every one of these guys that's in there is like super keen. I mean, obviously they wouldn't be in this event if they didn't want to be in the winner circle, but now they're in the quarters. They know they've got what it takes to win it. So they all know that, and they all have that confidence riding into this final day. And that's what you're seeing in these guys right now. It's like this, a little bit of extra confidence, and just they're all super focused and want to win really bad.
So once again, the riders sitting and getting a little chance to think about their strategy. And Mike, tell me about that. Do you think a lot of riders are, as they're sitting there thinking about, okay, this is how much time I have now? Things are changing. I have to start thinking about this, or do you think it's just you have one plan and it stays the same the entire time you're out there, or do you adjust that throughout the heat?
I think the guys that have been successful have a real dynamic approach or a plastic approach, as I like to say, because they just are able to change, and you have to be. You have to be able to change. You don't know if a wave is going to come or if it doesn't come or if there's going to be a lull. I mean, you can time sets and you can have a general idea that there'll be something coming in every so often. But sometimes the ocean changes, especially in places that are tidal sensitive. And, it can change up. And so you really have to be making a lot of decisions, split-second decisions for your strategy for the rest of the heat. And all kinds of different scenarios come into play, and they can change that. So I think the guys that have the more plastic approach and more, they're just
Look at the seal right there in front of those guys.
More open to the circumstances, you usually have a tendency to do better in the long run.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier the paddle out on the right, and that is definitely a consideration, because that paddle out on the right is almost a couple minutes longer than the one on the left, unless there's a lot of current. Like that big day is actually, with the ski, it was a real advantage to, go right, because you had the ski to pull you out. And there's current going from El Buoy and draining into the bay here, pulling around the corner, and so the current was actually going pretty strong towards the left, which meant that you had to paddle against the current just to stay at the peak. And so, it just depends on the conditions. But today, it's quite a bit smaller. Okay, we got Jacob Romero. You guys are going to be splitting the peak.
So Dave Winchester on the left, Jacob Romero on the right. We're watching Dave Winchester
big
now.
open barrel
Another big barrel.
For Winnie.
Not going to make it out
he's
again.
He's pretty deep. He might have a shot. Just doesn't make it. Okay. We'll see if we can get a replay of Romero's right, because I would dare say that he's probably got the better of that exchange, but I see Jacob in the whitewater. That's not a good sign either.
Okay, let's see if we can take a look at the right. Here it is. Jacob Romero, the young man from Maui, driving. He has a 4.5. He wants to add another score.
Whoa, big section here again. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, boy.
Man, Jacob Romero is a glutton for punishment this
That
year,
was
isn't he?
punishment, man. He got sucked over in a place you do not want to get sucked over at. Yeah, that was heavy.
Once again, a replay
So
of the left
it
we
looked like
saw
he might
live.
have, he kind of stalled a little bit to get in there, and then it just kind of ran from him. Yeah, it's not an easy barrel to ride, this one, and because it does, depending on the direction and all these variables, a wave will come in and it will run, or it will hold up. You don't know a lot of times. You take off and you think you might do one thing and it does something else, and next thing you know it, you're like way too deep and you're just going, oh, man. You know,
So
the whole time you're thinking, I got to get back out there. I got to get, you know, you got another couple minutes. The other guy's going to get a wave. But I would say that this will be interesting to see how much more time Winnie has now on the left, paddling out from a wave he didn't make, compared to Jacob on a right that he didn't make.
yeah, for sure.
You know,
and
I would say it's probably going to be a minute or two.
And you know that's important because remember we do have a priority system. So if you split a peak with a guy and he goes left and you go right, he is almost certainly going to get the priority back every time.
Well, at this break, if you go right, it's a lot. Yeah. So if you go left, in Winnie's case, you're going to get the priority first.
Yeah.
And you know that gives you more opportunity to catch more waves, which is pretty essential if you're in a heat.
I see we got some good interaction from the Facebook page. We got Ben Clegg from Australia saying this is the best webcast. He says, I'm sitting by the fireplace having soup, and I'm excited to see some big airs. And we gave him Jacob
Winnie
Romero.
up and riding.
So look at this, Winnie on a smaller cleaner looking
wave.
barrel.
Yeah, rides that bull well.
Nice.
Just a clean combination of events there.
Riding
nice
that foam
barrel,
ball.
nice roll. I'm pretty sure they'll count that as a make. I mean, you can see his head, but then he just got gobbled.
Riding that foam ball looking good, popping out the end.
Yeah, just a good barrel to we hear some whistles out the back. Maybe there's a second. Okay, here's a recap. So kind of stalls it up. Just, gosh, that way you could almost body surf.
Yeah, and Mike, tell the people at home how much that foam ball helps you come out of the barrel.
Well, yeah, it kind of pushes you forward. And the snowball Eric's referring to is like sometimes if a wave slows down inside of the wave, that when the lip hits the wave face, it kind of makes a little explosion on the inside, and then that can coagulate or gather into a ball of whitewater inside of the barrel that just kind of pushes you. And if it's a real bully wave that's real slow, that whitewater will just kind of push you out. In fact,
the whitewater
you
will
could lose
actually
your board.
outrace-
Yeah, you could body surf that out. You could make that an in and out body surf.
So
wave.
that whitewater coming from inside the barrel actually outraces the speed of the shoulder?
Sometimes, yeah, it'll do that. In that case, it was kind of a pretty good little snowball, and then it just bowled up, and he just, you know, it was a perfect. Those are the kind of sections that, you know, are made for rolls. Or just, you know, they're not that fast. Or just you can just do big stereolos, I call them, big radius rolls.
Yeah, and you know, Shane Lono on the IBA World Tour Facebook page came back after hearing about Ben eating soup by the fireplace. He said, "Oh yeah, well I'm up late eating opie, and show you cheering on Jacob Romero." Okay,
All
so
right.
we have some scores coming through. 4.5 for David Winchester on that smaller wave. Got a good barrel on a roll, and the judges rewarded him with a 4.45. Jacob Romero had a 2 on that bigger right that he tried to air out the back and didn't make it on. So Jacob Romero has 2 waves, only a total of 6.5. And Dave Winchester with 4 waves, a total of 10.03 with 11 minutes and 10 seconds to go here on our first quarterfinal.
You can kind of see GT getting ready there in the back with a yellow jersey. Yeah, that's going to be some fireworks as well. So, yeah, good. It's going to be some, gosh. Well, we've already seen some pretty nutty action.
For sure. That air
Here's GT getting ready to go.
Guillermo Tamega is someone you know very, very well, a multi-time world champion.
Okay, here's Winnie on a smaller inside wave.
But this is the one that worked good for him earlier. Check out this barrel.
Oh, nice long little barrel. Let's see
What's
if
he
he needs another move here.
Ah.
Okay, well, he got a pretty good little barrel there. It wasn't a big running one like you know, I'm sure he was hoping, but you know, he didn't have priority, and
Look at that barrel right in front of him.
Yeah, probably just he's great at, you know, ferreting out these inside waves and just like building his score base. So that was actually a pretty good wave. Like from this angle, like he was in there for a long time, came out clean, and just kind of in and out. Yeah, I think he was probably figuring, okay, well, I'll just get back out. That barrel is pretty good.
Yeah. Another replay from this is the original angle that you saw, and just hooked in right there. The wave set up perfect. I mean, if the wave could only work out that good on the sets for him, you know what I mean? He'd be getting 8s.
And here we go. You know, Winnie building his his campaign.
So we see right there. Well, there is no blue, so I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Yeah, so that might be unless they're facing it towards them. It could have been that Jacob paddled for a wave and or Maybe he caught a wave that we didn't see. I don't know.
Okay, so we have a score for that last left-hand barrel for Dave Winchester, 6.08, improving his total score to 11.66. Jacob Romero still with a 6.5, and he has a couple low scores, 4.5 and a 2. He needs to get rid of those, so he's doing his best.
He basically has 2 waves he hasn't made, so he's got a 6. I mean, remember yesterday, guys were getting a 6 total with waves they made, so that's pretty radical that he's actually made that many points not making a wave and just going absolutely crazy. And that just goes to show how much this guy charges.
Yeah, for sure. 100% is the theory on Jacob Romero being a charger. I'll say that. The guy's going for it, and he showed, to start off the day.
Yeah, not just here. Like one of the Facebook members posted, he did good at the box event, which I remember that. He was actually really going for it there as well. And he does the same thing at Shark Island. So in heavy waves, it's not like he's doing this in your little beach breaks. He's doing this in some of the heaviest waves there are. Okay, Winnie on another wave, just collecting that inside.
Yeah, that's quite a lot of spit there.
Little bull. Oh, looking for something there. It didn't really happen. It wasn't really a great section. He's just back up. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
That's a big set for Jacob Romero.
Jacob Romero paddling and in and out. Now, he just lost priority by paddling, but he'll regain it immediately because there's no one else out there and he's in position. So no skin off of his back to paddle for anything he wants.
Let's take a look at
no one
the
else
replay.
is in the
Dave
peak.
Winchester dropping on a good-looking wave. Got in a little bit late as you see it spit. As he got to the bottom, it was already spitting.
So, you can kind of see that snowball again, and that one didn't really run. It was kind of just so slow. And, those you got to be, so deep to really make anything out of them. And it just wasn't one of the better waves. It was, So
I think it was one of the better waves. He just didn't get in early. I mean, I think if he would have got in early enough, he would have got a good solid barrel in the beginning.
Oh, you mean if he was deep, took off deeper?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you get, a 2.5 on that? So he's just, here you can see a total contrast in approaches here.
Yeah,
Romero going all in with 2 waves. Winnie just kind of building his house with 6 waves. Time grinding down here.
And speaking of guys going all in, throwing big airs in contests, we have a comment from Eppo.
Yeah,
for you, Mike. One of the godfather of Australian
Yeah, and
airs.
a good friend, yeah.
He says he wants to know what was the best air Mike has ever done. He says $15 was involved in it. You know what he's talking about?
The best air.
He says $15 was involved in it. You know what he's talking about?
He might be talking about, one time he bet me to, I remember he bet me to, I think we were up at, I'm sure, yeah. Okay, he's getting his $15 worth right now because he wants me to tell this story. So basically, we were staying up in the Central Coast, and it was absolutely freezing up there. Like it was literally ice on the ground, and he bet me $15 I think that I would run naked down the street and jump into the water through this caravan park. And I did it, and I tried to jump in the water, but the water was too shallow. So I couldn't jump in. It was only like to my ankles. So I had to keep running. And I just kept running. I'm running out. And finally I got it deep enough so I could jump in. And then I ran back. And then the owner came by all freaked out, told us politely to leave. So it was, anyway, there you go, Eppo.
That's a good story from Eppo. So listen, back to the contest. 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Time is winding down for Jacob Romero. He has a 4.5 and a 2. He needs a 7.16, which is not out of the question. But still, I mean, he definitely wants to get rid of that 2.
I'm thinking that's the air he's thinking about. I'm not sure. I don't know why air is involved in that, but I remember that's how he paid me $15. But Apple, great guy. Mate, hope you're doing well and stoked you're watching. And along with everyone else that's enjoying the show, super stoked. We're enjoying it too. It's really fun for me to have an opportunity to just talk about all my friends and fellow competitors on the tour. It's been a really cool trip here. It's the vibe has been really good. Bodyboarders are just such a great bunch of riders, and
sorry to interrupt you,
cool.
Mike, but we got the priority there for Jacob Romero we're showing. Dave Winchester, the rider in the lead, has second priority. So Jacob has first choice, and it looks like there might be some sets coming in. 4 minutes and 22 seconds to go here in the first quarterfinal of the day. And like we said, time is winding down.
Yeah, we're winding down on the, Jacob is getting backed in now. He needs a 7.16, which is not much. It's not much. That's a one make error that he can do, and this can happen on one wave within a span of 10 seconds. So, divide that by 4 minutes, and you got quite a few opportunities. So long as there's surf coming in, and right now it looks like a little bit of a lull, which works in Dave's favor, of course. But Dave is not comfortable at all right now. He hasn't posted a really high score yet, nothing over a 6. So this isn't familiar territory for him. He's used to kind of locking in a big score to kind of put some space between him and his competitor. And this really is going to be, it's going to really come down to the wire. So keep your eyes posted on this.
Yeah, for
this
sure.
last exchange is just going to be, could be all important.
Well, time is winding down, like we said. Time is always winding down for all of us.
I know. You're in this commentator booth and sometimes you're trying to say stuff and it's just, sometimes it's better just to be quiet. That's kind of what I'm learning.
Well, we want to keep everyone at home entertained. We do the best that we
Yeah,
can.
and if there's something you guys want to know about, like in particular, especially if it's about the contest, put it on the Facebook, let us know, and we'll try to answer it.
As you can see, here we are, night commentating on the Facebook page.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, we get up early here. I've been getting up at in the 5-ish, 5:30, 5, do a little stretching, and then hit the road. Come down here.
And usually, as Mike hits the road, he rolls over and wakes me up. And,
yeah, go easy. Go easy, big boy.
So 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go, and it is time for Jacob Romero to get on it because he is getting nervous. He's got to be feeling the butterflies in his stomach at this point and some frustration, right, Mike?
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know. I mean, it would probably be quite frustrating. I mean, at this level, everyone's super competitive, and he's no different. He's a different type of competitor, where he'll kind of hold in his emotions, I think, more than most. But he gets pretty ticked off as well.
Yeah.
He's probably a better loser than some guys. I'm not a good loser. Some guys are really bad losers, myself included. I'm just a terrible loser.
Yeah. To me, I think anyone who deals with losing, well, they don't want to win that bad.
Well, they say a good loser is a consistent loser, and so I don't know if that's the case, but I'm trying to get more zen about it. But it's taken me 50 years. I'm still haven't figured it out.
For sure.
So, anyway, we're winding down here. It's Jacob's got. You can see little, his little head bob there. Okay, this is it, man. It's going to get down crunch time here. The last wave that Jacob has, and we're within a minute of this first heat ending. He needs a 7, which all it takes is for him to make one air, one move, one wave, and he can do it. So
45 seconds.
If the wave comes, he can do it. If it doesn't come, the heat's over for him, and his campaign's over. But a great run for Jacob, nonetheless. I mean, he made it all the way to the quarters, which is good for him. He came down here. Kind of tough for him to get down here on this trip. He's paddling. Let's see. We got a little bit of time. Okay, this is making Winnie pretty nervous here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Jeez, 20 seconds to go. Jacob has no choice but to go.
This is not a bad wave.
Good size right here. What can Jacob do? Oh, he knows it.
Okay, well yeah, that was. He just threw it in, and you got Winnie.
He's got to be so frustrated.
Okay, this is going to count as well. So this could actually work for Winnie's. Winnie could have better his.
Well, at this point, it
beautiful.
Doesn't matter.
That was so cool.
He's already won the heat. He's moving through. It's not going to change anything
How clean was that roll?
It was a nice roll.
Really nice.
As soon as there's no pressure, he throws the best roll of the heat.
Super cool. So I'm going to turn it over to Sasha Specs for a while, and we'll let him